Somebody say yeah. Say it again, say yeah. Somebody say yeah for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You look good out there, baby. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Look here. It's been too hard living, and I'm afraid to die. Look here. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, I wish I could come out there where you are, baby. A long time coming, but I know, look at here, a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Look at here. Let me say one more thing. I go to the movie and I go downtown. But all I can hear is somebody keep telling me, oh boy, don't hang around. It's been a long. If anybody know what I'm talking about, let me see you wave your hand. I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. But I've got to take my time and say this, look. Then I go to my brother. Yes, sir. And I tell him, I said, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me. He knocks me back down on my. Oh, there's been times that I thought. Somebody say yeah. I can last long. I'm able to carry on. It's been a long, good God Almighty, a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Look at here, one more time, look. Then I go to my brother. Somebody take your hand back and forth like this. Everybody. You sitting in the first balcony too. Help me, please. All over the auditorium tonight. All over the hallelujah. But he winds up knocking me. Back down on my knees. That's the times what I thought I couldn't last so long. No, I know, baby,
Mo.
Yes, Lou?
I think younger kids need to know the value of sacrifice.
Yes, I agree. There is one place they can learn about sacrifice. If they tune in on WMAD and the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass on Monday nights, they can learn. It's informative with current topics. And by the way, the show is hot.
The show is smoking hot.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass. We are honored to have you as a guest tonight and want to thank each of you for your faithful support. Without further delay, allow me to introduce to you Mr. Baron Glass. Mr. Glass, take it away.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass on WMAD 24-hour global radio. Today has been one of those days where you just go with the flow. Whatever comes your way is what you decide to do. We talked last night a little bit about in 2015, divided communities would not produce progress. And every time you turn around, there is something that's going on in the news. We know today that the master himself, Donald Trump, announced that he's going to be running for the president of the United States in 2016. And we all joke around and we say our little snide remarks and things like that about each individual candidate. And some of that stuff is really just out of, playing or whatever the case may be. So when it gets to the point where everybody gets serious and start to losing friendships, starts to losing relationships, so forth and so on, I think at that point is where you have to start drawing the line. So to all of those individuals that are out there who have ran for office or is running for office, I personally know myself, being an elected official for the past 23 years and even currently now, that sometimes those people that's out there who actually consider themselves to be playing, some of that stuff hurts and it goes to the roots. So when you're out there, and this applies to myself, when you're out there doing whatever it is that you're doing, please just make sure that you be decent and in order and offer just a little respect. And we can always fundamentally disagree with a policymaker. We can always fundamentally disagree with those who are out there running for office. But again, once you take it to that level of becoming personal attacks, using racial overtones and things like that, then at that point is where we have to draw the line. On yesterday, we was able to actually meet up with an individual by the name of Miss Lauren, and I can't pronounce the last name, so it's CICCO, I believe. And I want to let her know she's out there listening now from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I believe that's the city of brotherly love. And we want to say thanks for you and your group for tuning in and listening to the Smoking Glass Hour on last night. And you just posted about 10 minutes ago. Let's see how many active members will say hi back to me being her, Lauren. So if you're out there listening, and you're looking at Lauren's page, Stop Racism and Be That Change, please go out and support them and their cause, because these individuals are trying their very best to deal with a situation that is very, very, very complicated. Very complicated, because no one wants to talk about racism and how hard it is. And some may ask, Lauren, I'm quite sure they've asked you, being your nationality, why are you always talking about this? Why is this so important to you? Well, my thing is, if you ride horses, or if you have a hobby, or if there's something that you like, it would be totally disrespectful for me to actually go and tell you what to write about and what not to write about. So, again, what I'm saying is this: try to exercise just a little sensitivity toward those who are out there doing the things that they are doing. And Lauren, I see that people are actually responding very, very, very complimentary to your page. And every time I turn around, I see a red light going off, which is an indicator that somebody's responded and been notified. I'm being notified about, so forth and so on. So again, hats off to Lauren that's out there. I met another individual about this morning talking to John Smith out of believe McKinney, Texas, and I believe he's a school teacher. And I also wanted him to he's asking me now, is there some additional step or action required on my part to tune in through my laptop connection to the internet? So no, John, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best as I broadcast to send you this information that will allow you to be able to listen in and participate. And what I'm trying to do at some point is bring some of these guys in, Lauren, Pastor Riggins, and several other people going on inside the classroom, so forth and so on, so people can get an understanding of what's going on with their child at school, how they can get involved, why it's important that they get involved, what it is that the students are doing in the classroom. Because Pastor Riggin indicated to me that he is trying his best to go directly to the administrative level or something like that, because he is basically trying to get things done. So I'm hearing that people are having issues, internet issues and so forth and so on. So I'm not sure what's going on out there, whatever the case may be, but we are broadcasting live with the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass on WMAD 24-hour global radio. So the day's topic is this: academics versus athletics. 2015 rather. Are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? But before we get off into the broadcast, what I'm going to do is actually take care of a few announcements before we go. I read you last night, Louisiana Gumbo News is a political newspaper that is now serving 7 parishes. So if you're out there in Concordia Parish, Catahoula Parish, Caldwell Parish, Franklin Parish, Madison Parish, Ouachita, and Richland Parish in the state of Louisiana, Louisiana Gumbo should serve your purpose. They have been in business for the past 2 years and are stirring the pot of politics. And like their motto says, if you should go out and Google them, they are on Facebook as well. If any politicians are interested in taking out a page or a half page, you can contact them at 318-537-0551. And he says that we assure you that this paper will cover your parish. Okay, and we are now working on the July issue, I believe. And he also says, thank you for your time. And that's by Mr. Eunice Davis, the publisher of Louisiana Gumbo News, which is a paper that's circulating locally here in the state of Louisiana. And they are trying to do whatever it is that they can, to try to get that message out. So I'm trying to make sure that I allow everybody opportunity to come on and get involved with the show before I actually get into it, because I'm still seeing people messaging me saying that they are having issues out there. So once again, I believe the administrator is having a little technical difficulties as well. So I don't know what is going on out there. I know that there are some things that we can't control, which is nature itself. Okay, John, I know that you're out there. I'm waiting to see if my administrator can actually get live. I'm not sure what area they're in, because we do have individuals from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania that's tuned in, the state of Louisiana. We have Pastor A.F. Riggins, which is a teacher out in Houston, Texas. We have Dallas, Texas represented. We have the state of Arizona. I'm not sure if Pueblo, Colorado is out there. We have Baltimore, Maryland. We have South Louisiana, St. Martinville. We have Breaux Bridge. We have Mamou. We have Columbia, Louisiana. We have Little Rock, Arkansas, Monticello, Arkansas. We have several other places that are out there throughout the state. So for those individuals who are running for local office, you may want to start directing your traffic here, because I am talking directly to a lot of people on a daily basis, and they have a lot of concerns, a lot of questions about what's going on, who is the candidate, what they stand for, what will their office be like, will they reflect diversity, so off and so on. So again, we're trying to make sure that we make a difference in the lives that we touch on a daily basis. So once again, today's topic is academics versus athletics. In 2015, are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? And that is just a simple question. So if you're out there listening, you can go chat live with me while we're doing the live broadcast. If you just go directly to the link at the top, the player, and it will have 3 or 4 icons, and you can click that first icon, I believe, and that will allow you to chat directly to me. As a matter of fact, it is the first icon within the black label. The second label will allow you to go out and look at all the shows that we've done thus far in the last 2 weeks. And of course, the third one, the heart, is for you to like the show, hopefully, and go out, not just the show, but the entire broadcast, and go out and, hopefully follow us. And once we reach a certain amount of followers, we will automatically be broadcasting, I believe, on iHeartRadio. So any help that you can give, tell a neighbor, tell a friend, would be greatly appreciated. Now, we know that athletic departments at the college level and university level, we know that they spend far more per athlete than institutions spend to educate the average student. And again, are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? We're talking about academics versus athletics in 2015. Once again, I'll read. We know that most places, how you doing, John? I see you out there. I know that you're a teacher, and everything is going on, so feel free to make a comment as we broadcast. You don't have to agree. You don't have to disagree. You can just make your comments in general, because I noticed that you did engage a little bit today. So we just stated that athletic departments, they spend a good amount, far more per athlete than institutions spend to educate the average student. Now, we know that typically 3 to 6 times as much spending on athletes versus students inside the classroom. The question is that the right thing to do in 2015? We also know that among some of those out there, which is the football bowl subdivision, which is known as FBS, the institution itself, the median athletic spending was nearly $92,000 per athlete in previous years. Now, $92,000 is a lot of money. Now, when we look at the median academic spending per full-time student, the equivalent, it was less than $14,000 in the same university. Once again, are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? Academic versus athletics in 2015. Now, if you take $92,000 and you compare that to $14,000 in the same universities that was spent inside the classroom, I think that should be an issue. Now, when you look at certain things, that's about 6 times the amount of money spent per athlete in the previous years than it would be for a student inside the classroom in some of these same universities. Now, here's the thing. The question that I am asking you, and I'm only asking, I'm not taking a position one way or the other, even though I represent a school district within a parish here on the school board. The question that I am asking you is, why do we say Why do politicians say, why do those who are in an elected capacity continue to say that education is at the top of the list, when we know that every time there's a first cutting when it comes to budget cuts, the first thing that's on the chopping block is what? Education. So again, is education as important as what most people say they are? Now, I think personally that we need to start challenging those who serve us from the public standpoint, those who are elected, those who have gained our trust, gained our vote, and allowed to sit in those seats on these boards and allow $92,000 per athlete versus $14,000 in some of those same universities. Again, that's 6 times the amount that's spent. Six point something, give or take. Now, we know this, that athletic costs, they increased at least twice as fast as academic spending on a per capita basis across each of the 3 Division I subdivisions. Okay, John says that his undergraduate alma mater is a testament to the fact that academics can take front and center of the collegiate landscape of a given campus. University of Texas, Dallas in Richardson, Texas does not have a football program. It is at the forefront of many top-notch academic programs. Thanks, John, for that comment. Lauren, I know that you're still out there, so if you have anything or any other group that's out there to engage, because we're going to get to your type show very quickly as soon as we can make contact with you. Again, John, thanks for that comment. Although academic resources were strained, okay, after the recent recession in the last 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, only the FBS, which is the Football Bowl subdivision, reined in escalating athletic spending per athlete in previous years. Nevertheless, athletic subsidies per athlete continued to increase in all subdivisions despite these financial constraints. Now, if we're talking about education being cut, and education always being the number one priority on the list to be cut, how is it that individuals can justify and continue to funnel money in to athletic programs? I'm trying to make sure that I draw a great parallel between athletics and academics in 2015. Are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? That's a question that I am posing. You can be a proponent of, you can be an opponent of, you can be in the middle, you can straddle the fence. I am only providing a commentary based on subjects and subject matters that are sent to me or I create on my own that I feel are trending topics that are out there, because we know that athletics and academics has always been a competition. And the question is, if you have a student that's in school, do you want that student to receive all the money that he or she should be entitled to inside the classroom? Or do you want some of the students who are playing football to receive their share and not within the classroom? Because we know, and I'll get to this momentarily, we know that every student that plays athletics, they have a slim to none chance to go to the next level. Now, that's not because I am saying that. Those are realities that we must face as parents, so forth and so on. Now, we also know that some time ago, a recent study, okay, by the NCAA, and I believe it was back in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, now guess what? They discovered that most Division I athletes spend more time on athletics than on their academic work. Now, I have seen this firsthand, where students who play basketball, football, or participate at the college level, I have seen those individuals never come to class but once to take a test per testing cycle. They never come to class. Lo and behold, they get an A or a B in the class when other people are going to class on a daily basis, earning their grade, and they end up getting a B, C, sometimes D, and maybe have to drop the class and or take it over. So my question is this: why is more money being spent on athletics rather than academics? Now, although the study focused on colleges, the reality is that it may be true for high schools around the country as well. The fact that most athletes spend more time participating in sporting activities rather than focusing on their education, here's the problem: it may ultimately have a negative impact on their career. Let me make sure I say that again. We know that money is being spent on athletics. We know that money should be spent inside the classroom on academics. Rather than that take place, we know that the fact that most athletes spend more time participating in sporting activities rather than focusing on their education, this may, not shall, it may ultimately have a negative impact on their career. Now, even if that may is there, which is a small percentage chance that it could happen, my question is this: why should we be willing to take that chance, or why should we be willing to allow that chance to even take place on our kids, our future? Because we know that only a small percentage of individuals will make it to the next level. We know that. Although most student athletes never become professionals, and I just stated that, we know that most student athletes never in their lifetime become professionals. They spend excessive amounts of time playing sports, neglecting their education, and therein lies the problem. If we as parents, if we as coaches, if we as politicians are allowing these kids to neglect their educational well-being, then my question again is, are we failing to provide them an avenue towards success? I'm talking about academics versus athletics. In 2015, are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? Now, we know, according to, there was a study out there, I believe it was, once again, Mary Tidrow, who was a high school English teacher. Her comment was that most high school athletes never make it to professional sports. Yet, year after year after year, high schools around the country spend a disproportionate amount of money on varsity sports while neglecting academics. So see, we're starting at the local level. We're starting at the high school level. And the same thing that breeds in the high school level, it feeds into the upper level, the next level, the college level, the university level. So once again, if we know that most high school athletes never make it to professional sports, year after year after year, schools around the country spend a disproportionate amount of money on varsity sports while neglecting academics. So if we are allowing academics to be neglected, the question is, are we building future for those who may, quote unquote, be less educated, less ignorant, aware of what's going on? Is that why all of these other countries that are out there are competing at a greater level when it comes to academics versus some of these places here? Is Common Core really a thing that can actually make things better when we know that Common Core has its own problem? So once again, my question is this: is academics receiving less money, less funding, less attention than academics, than athletics? Okay, if we know that athletics, by way of statistical data, if we know that athletics is actually receiving more money, then the question is, yes, Lauren, I know that that's sad. John, you can attest a little bit more if you care to engage. Again, my position is this, is that we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. And John says this, and I have people out there working that's sending me these messages. Lauren, yes, we are making it harder for them. And I know that John just commented, but I'll wait for his comment to come through. But again, what I'm trying to do is get parents that are out there. Because those parents who are in the booster club, the athletics, they are going to make sure that their kids have the best facilities, the best looking uniforms, the most protected helmets. They're going to know that. So why not you as a parent? Why not you make sure that the money that is supposed to be spent inside the classroom is being spent? Okay, John says, the University of Texas, Dallas is one of the top powerhouse chess colleges in the United States with a strong international student demographic. One factor contributing to the success of UTD's academic program is based on how it markets itself as a university. At UTD, chess is considered the sport of the mind, so an emphasis on academics can and has been successful. Unfortunately, few ethnic minorities are represented in the less traditional extracurricular activities like chess. And John, you are going deeper as I wanted to and when I will, because disproportionately, we know that it's not going to be fair to all. So once again, we know that a disproportionate amount of money on varsity sports while neglecting academics exists. What I'm going to do right now, because we're looking at about 5:29 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to pause right quick and play a brief song by Keith Franks. It's called Haters, the Zydeco Boss. Lauren, here's some more Zydeco, and I'll be right back.
Music man. haters. But raise both hands up if you know that you're greater than them. Now raise one hand up if you know you got haters. But raise both hands up if you know that you're greater than them. Time and time again, my God, you wish you would end. Follow me, the leader, and you'll be hating again. You just can't stop me. You're wishing you could be me. I'm not trying to brag, I just got it like that. But even when I'm bragging, it's a matter of fact. So there's nothing you can do. If I was you, I'd hate me too. Now raise one hand up. You know you got haters. But raise both hands up. You know that you're greater than them. Raise one hand up. You know you got haters. But raise both hands up. You know that you're greater than them.
It's time to take back control of our society. Today's world requires an open and honest discussion about the current events. On the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass, our goal is to engage people from different walks of life into a healthy discussion, creating a positive outcome. When it comes to global events, tune in to the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass on Monday nights at 7:30. We don't just listen to the news, we bring you the news.
We are back broadcasting live with the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass on WMAD 24-hour global radio. Now, for those who are out there listening, those who are out there chatting, if you were on, and I'll make sure that I reference this, if you were on Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and all those other affiliates that's out there, you would not have the opportunity to engage in the conversation because everything that's done is basically scripted and edited. Here at the Smoking Glass Hour, we are glad that you are engaging in conversation. So whatever it is that's out there that you'd like to say, feel free to say it. We may be a little slow in responding to it, but I hope that we can respond to everybody that's out there who's sending a message, whether it's on Facebook, social media, or whether it's live in the chat room, because we aim to make a difference. And we always reference, please join our Make a Difference campaign, because the goal is to educate as many people as we can. The goal is to try to make a difference in many people's lives as we can. Now, again, we're talking today about academic and athletics in 2015. Are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? Now, some educators, some, not all, some educators believe that sports are emphasized more than test scores by the schools and even the media itself. So what I'm trying to do as an outlet broadcasting is to draw this parallel and this distinction between academics and athletics and allow you to draw your own conclusion. Because from a professional standpoint and a position of a policymaker, I already have an idea and or an indication. I already have it from a factual standpoint. But my goal is to allow you, and our message here is clear, that we try to make sure that we put out as much information as possible, as valid information as possible, so you, the listener, can go out and make a conscious decision about things that are going on in and around your circle. So we know that this educational neglect, we know that it has an impact on students' college careers and all of those other levels that they go to. If college athletes were held up to academic standards and barred from competing in NCAA tournaments, according to the Secretary of Education, Mr. Arne Duncan, academics have become almost secondary to athletic programs from some college students. The question is, are we spending the money in the right place? Now, no one is saying that athletics should be neglected. It's not what we're saying. What I'm saying is, and what I'm asking is that Is there a parallel? Is there a distinct difference between money being spent on athletics versus money being spent on academics? We know that athletes, they need to plan. They need to plan ahead for the possibility, guess what, that they would not have a future in professional sports. That's why we're talking about academics versus athletics, because we know that approximately 5.8%, make sure you listen, approximately 5.8% of high school athletes move on and play at the collegiate level. 5.8%, which is a small percentage chance. Of that 5.8%, only a mere 3.1% of college students go on and play at the professional sports level. Now, here we are. We are drawing the parallel, making the parallel. We are making the distinction between academics and athletics in 2015. Are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? Now, parents, teachers, coaches, and especially student athletes, we make sure that they themselves need to understand that winning at all costs diminishes the lives. Receiving an education should be the top priority. Education is an important thing. Education is important to be successful in life, because we know that 5.8% going to play at the college level. Of that 5.8%, only 3.1% make it to the big league. So here we are. We know that there are some things that need to change. We know that there are some things that need to take place. We know that education is important. Okay, we know that athletes who get breaks and privileges for playing sports in colleges, we know that they may be at an intellectual disadvantage after college. That's the problem. They may be able to go to the next level, but while they are in that next level, which is college, and they're receiving more money in the athletic aspect rather than the academic, the question is, are we educating the wrong way? Injuries can cause a problem. Budget cuts can cause a problem. And legal troubles can often put an end to an athlete's career. So here we are. We know that numerous talented players miss out on the chance to play at the top level in football, basketball, so forth and so on, because of the failure to meet academic requirements. There are many reasons academics need to be an athlete's priority in college. And I believe, John, somewhere today you indicated something to that effect. Now, we know that there are many reasons that academics need to be an athlete's top priority in college. Despite all of the research that's out there, which shows the need to stress academics over athletics, there are some who believe that a sport is their ticket to success. And the question is, if we are teaching our kids that sports is the ticket to their success, are we in fact creating the problems that we now see amongst Americans throughout this country? There are many reasons why students should find sports more important. We know that they shouldn't find sports more important than school. We know that, but some rather, they find sports more important than school. Now, here's the problem. The most enticing draw of professional sports is the money that can be earned. So if you take a freshman, a sophomore out of high school, out of college, and they are eligible for the draft, okay, the question is, how will you be able to tell them about not going to get this $1 million, this $2 million, or $3 million, so forth and so on? Now, John says the high schools where I teach has a long-standing tradition where sports is emphasized to near epic proportion. Now, we're talking about somebody who is directly in the classroom. Now, these are not indicators that we are just throwing out there. These things can be validated. We have an individual who is telling us this. Okay, the athletic program budget far exceeds any other single campus or program within the district. Here's a factual piece of information. The budget on paper is reported to be in excess of, guess what, people? Guess what? In excess of $13 million for the top school campuses. That we're talking about a lot of kids that could be educated. And John, you are taking me directly to my next point. Money talks. So right now, there is an absolute perverse incentive. Folk follow the money, and the money says, we don't care about academic outcomes. John, I think you agree with that. Again, money talks. Well, let me back up and see if I can. We know that the most enticing draw of professional sports is the money that they can earn. Okay, money talks. So right now, there is an absolute perverse incentive. Folk follow the money, and guess what the money says? The money says we don't care about academic outcomes. And John just gave us a budget on paper reported in the amount to exceed $13 million for some high school colleges, high school campuses. It's unheard of. Now, it is very, very difficult. I know it's a difficult argument to contradict when the average family physician, think about this now, let me draw a parallel. The average family physician makes less than $200,000 a year in a lot of cases. And the league minimum for a Major League Baseball player is $300,000. Look at academics compared to athletics. Look at academics, a physician, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of school, making $200 as a family physician, average. And an individual in Major League Baseball, go to college, play 1 or 2 years, 3 at the most. They get in the draft, and the minimum amount of money that they will make is $300,000. I'm talking today about academics versus athletics in 2015. Are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? Now, doctors, as I stated, spend countless years in school. Okay? Countless years in school. Okay? It's not even registering. You know, countless years in school, studying and learning how to be a doctor, while in some scenarios, teenagers are making over $100,000 a year, more than them, because they are good at playing a sport. John says once again, what we are witnessing is a certain reality where everyone eventually receives a high school diploma, but not everyone receives an education. John, how profound is that coming? Everyone, and I want you, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it myself. We're going to put this out there as a Facebook comment on social media, and I like for people, those of us out there who can engage in this. It's really sickening. Okay, it's really a problem. And again, I'm trying to make sure that those who are out there listening live right now, and those who may go back and listen to the live podcast, even if it's by someone who shared it, or if it's somebody who goes out and search for the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass, we're looking at a physician who spends countless years in school studying and learning how to be a doctor. In most cases, someone, because they can play good in sports, they can start out making $300,000 a year in Major League Baseball, whereas a physician might make $200,000 on average. And John, who is in the classroom, is saying, and this to me is very profound, that what we are witnessing here in this country, the United States, is that there's a certain reality where everyone eventually receives a high school diploma, but not everyone receives an education. And that is a problem within itself. And John, I'd like to ask you, and you can respond in your own way. So if that be the case, if that is the case, how are we to go in and recreate, reinvent, retrain people to understand that just because a student is walking across the stage to receive a diploma does not mean that that individual received what they call free and appropriate education? You can talk to me, John, in any way, in your own way. Now, there are many possible solutions to balance the academic with athletics. One possible solution is that we may be able to screen prospective student athletes before accepting them into colleges. This screening process may help determine whether or not a student should be eligible to enter a post-secondary institution. Okay, so now we're checking to see what their educational ability is. How good are they in academics? And I guess the opposition side can say, well, why should you prevent somebody from going on and using their talent and gift at the next level? No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying at all. The only thing that we're doing is trying to draw a parallel and or a distinction for you parents that are out there to understand that people, your kids, deserve the opportunity to get what we call a decent and appropriate education. John says this: the community might begin by attending half as many school board meetings, come on, John, as they do football games under Friday night lights. John, I have to tell you that you, my friend, are talking exactly what we need to hear. You, my friend, are the reason why I purposely chose you after receiving information from you to come on. And I believe that you and Pastor Riggins, being a teacher inside the classroom, and we'll get Lauren in, I believe, from the legal aspect, to look at this. Okay, correction, half as many. Okay, we'll say the community might begin by attending half as many. We know what you meant, John, that if they're going to attend half as many school board meetings as they do. And John, you know what? I can tell you from a personal standpoint, there in my 23 years of being elected, I have never seen as many parents to come to a school board meeting as I have seen when I see people on a Friday night at foot. And Lauren says, John, that she agrees with you as well. We have a serious problem when we look at academics versus athletics. Now, one of these examples for this type of program is referred to as FLAG, which is a Facilitating Learning and Achieving Graduation. Okay, Lauren says that it's sad when I go to meetings at my son's school. Lauren, you telling the truth. Less than half the parents show up. Now, when we look at, let's bring it closer to home, John. When we look at Father's Day for kids at school, a vast majority of the schools from around the country, they have less than a certain percentage of fathers showing up inside the classroom when it comes to academic. Yet and still, when their son is out there running the football, or if their son is out there dunking the ball, we have more parents that are cheering and hooping and hollering, get mad at the referee with parent anger, parent rage, or whatever you want to call it. They are representing a certain populace of our future. Now, it was offered, we know, the FLAG program, to academic service administrations of all schools governed by the NCAA, rather, back in 2011. Now, what that program consisted of was a software program with a series of questions. John, you may know something about this, designed to evaluate early signs of problems in athletics. It provides solutions and resources to address any issue that may arise, whether it involves academic, psychological, or socioeconomic problems. We know that study halls, tutoring, study skills education, and academic excellence recognitions are other means to help support student athletes. This type of screening may alleviate any academic issues before they occur. John, you and Lauren are hitting the nail on the head. The question is, what is it that we can do? John, I want you to respond to this. How hard is it for you to have parents to come to your classroom for parent-teacher conference day from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint? And what is it that you do to try to engage the parents to come to your classroom and understand the well-being of their child's educational standpoint from your classroom? And you can respond in your own way. Now, to be fair about what we're talking about, thanks to the dedicated services of academic support personnel, many athletes do receive an education that was not available to them in high school or grade school. Yet, we know that many athletes lack the background and motivation to be successful, even with extensive tutoring. While support staff and dedicated faculty can provide high-quality remedial programs, here's what they can't do. They cannot do athletes' classwork for them inside the classroom. This causes pressures to cheat and engage in academic fraud, mount as unprepared student athletes are held to the same standards as other students. And that's what I was referencing to earlier in the broadcast, where those people come to class, and they come to class only to take the test. They don't learn anything. They don't do anything. They don't do anything other than what happens. John says, over the last 3 years alone, I've received less than 6 parents out of approximately 140 students on Meet the Teacher Night. Now, I'm going to ask my administrator or anybody else that's out there listening, Lauren, John, give me that percentage. 140 students. You've only had 6 parents approximately in the last 3 years. That is absolutely unheard of. Pastor Riggins, I'm not sure if you're out there. I know you're getting ready for your broadcast at 7 o'clock, but you got to talk to me if you're out there. John says over the last 3 years, and Lauren validates it. It's sad when she goes to meeting her son in the classroom, there are less than half the parents are sure. So, John, can you please break down that percentage for me? That is astonishing. It's almost unheard of. Here's the thing. We are not doing student athletes a favor by admitting them into academic programs that they are not qualified for. Many of those who struggle to maintain eligibility come from poor families. And John, that's what you referenced earlier. Growing inequality in the United States has led to a worsening achievement gap that makes it increasingly difficult for poor students to receive the education that they need to realize the American dream of working their way out of poverty. That is a shame. This is unheard of. John says that comes to approximately 4.2%. His approach to drawing parents has included positive phone calls to parents with an invitation to observe their child in the classroom technology. And John, that tells me, based on what you're saying, that you want to engage. You want to engage people. He also says, technology such as Remind Text, a message alert, and that's what we use here on the Smoking Glass Hour. And John, I find that there are a lot of people who, for whatever reason, do not want anybody inside of their classroom. And I am proud to hear you say that you do not have a problem with a parent coming to audit your class to make sure that their child is being taught, and that you are teaching them to the best of your ability to give them what, not just the diploma when they walk across the stage, but the education that they deserve while going to a funded university, a funded high school, so forth and so on. Now, we know that, like I said, that growing inequality is there. We know that the worsening achievement gap is increasing. We know that it is becoming hard for those who are out there to realize, to understand the need to realize the American dream of working their way out of poverty is almost becoming unheard of. Almost becoming unheard of. So here we are once again. What is it that we can do? We're talking today about academics versus athletics in 2015. Are we putting more emphasis on the way things are done? Now, if college administrations and administrators and if local school boards of trustees, we know that if they insist upon admitting student athletes who are not yet ready to do college work, then in all fairness, John, let me see if you'd agree with this, then why can't we offer non-degree programs that can be established for helping these student athletes to get the education they missed? We know. John says this, that there is a mindset that exists among certain students and parents alike that making it to professional status in sports. The problem with such thinking is that this country is filled to the brim with pawn shops that have NFL Super Bowl rings for sale because the professional athlete lack the skills necessary to manage their assets, responsibility. John, I have to bring you on, my friend. Lauren, I have to bring you on live with the Smoking Glass Hour along with Pastor A.F. Riggins, senior pastor, founder of Real Light Church out of Houston, Texas, along with Dr. Pamela Salisbury and Dr. Savage, who are professors at the University of Louisiana at Monroe, in Monroe, Louisiana, the state of Louisiana. My problem is this, John. You are breaking this down. It's okay about the errors because we're not looking for the errors. We're getting the concept that you're trying to make. We're getting the parallel that you're trying to draw. We know for a fact that if college presidents are fully committed to upholding academic standards and providing their weakest student with real education, and John, you have mentioned that, with real education, they need to involve their faculty and academic support specialists. Okay, we know that far and far, their faculty and academic support specialists, they are not present most of the time. We know that some things, they just exist. We know that the APR, okay, we know that the APR reform, which was undertaken without the input of the faculty, it is creating a whole new set of problems. Faculty ought to be given the responsibility for setting and overseeing admission criteria and maintaining quality remedial as well as conventional educational programs. John, you, my friend, are part of that faculty. You should be a part of the decision-making process. Not that they have to take everything that you're saying, but they should take it because you are the one that's in the classroom. Teachers are the one that's in the classroom. So when we have these policymakers such as myself, our goal, our message should be that we should listen to those who are out on the front line. When you look at the President of the United States, when it comes to war, he should look at the Secretary of Defense. He should look at all of those ground people that are out there working in the personnel department that's feeding information to him. She should not make that decision without consulting with the ground troops. Otherwise, we are doing things backwards. Ultimately, a student's athletes program, a student's athletics education is a crucial part of their high school experience. It is a crucial part of their college experience, and it is a crucial part of their professional life. While sports, John, Lauren, while sports, and I'm not just picking on you guys, there are others out there listening, I'm just referencing to you guys. If I'm referencing you guys too much, tell me, and I'll stop, because I want to make sure that we know, that people understand that there are people that's out there, more than two people. Again, I can call out all of these areas where you're listening from, but it wouldn't do any good. While sports may be a major focus for some, the academic component is vital. Let me say that again. While sports may be a major focus to some, major focus. The academic component is vital. Now, John says the current educational system is dictated by curriculum and instructions such as the TEKS, and John, you can give me that acronym, the Texas something, TEKS, Common Core, or some other educational blueprint to be strictly followed by teachers. We know academic success, academic success leads to more career opportunities and act as a fallback plan for failed professional athletes. So parents, please make sure that you do the best that you can. The best that you can according to the ability that God has given you to instill in your child that academics should come before athletics. It doesn't mean that they cannot perform in athletics. It does not mean that they should give up athletics. What we are saying is don't give up one and go to the other. We're saying devote time and interest to both of them. Because at the end of the day, we know that it stands for Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. The TEKS stands for Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. Thank you, John. Okay, we know that since the research that shows that the number of college athletes who make it to the professional sports is small. We know 5.8% goes to college, and of that 5.8%, only about 3.1% make it to the next level. We know that. It is important. It is important, my friends. It is important, and our message is clear. From the Smoking Glass Hour and Barren Glass, when we talk about academics versus athletics in 2015, are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? Our message is clear, is that it is important that sports are not favored over academics. You have been listening to the Smoking Glass Hour with Barren Glass on WMAD 24-hour Global Radio. I'm going to pause for a brief moment, and I'll be right back.
Hello, this is Pastor A.F. Riggins of Real Life Church, Houston, Texas. We welcome you to hear our broadcast every Tuesday night right here on Blog Talk USA and WMAD Radio, www.smokingglasshour.com. Real people, real life, real answers, a Bible study. Every morning on WMAD Radio and SmokingGlassHour.com, 7 a.m., Monday through Friday, you get a Word of God, a sermon. And on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., same place, you can hear a Word of God. If you're in the Houston area, come and visit us at the Real Life Church, 2703 Highway 6 South, Suite 150 in Houston, Texas. 10:45 a.m. is our worship. Also, you can tune in to Blog Talk USA on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. for Wrap It Up Live. Community issues with real people, real life, and real answers. This is Pastor A.F. Riggins. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Looking forward to hearing you on our broadcast. Remember, prayer still works. That's good news. That's the power in the name of Jesus to break every chain. Amen.
We are back broadcasting live with the Smoking Glass Hour with Barren Glass. We're talking today about academics versus athletics in 2015. Are we putting more emphasis on the wrong thing? We have tried our best to convey that message. We want to say we hope that you guys tune in about another 54 minutes to Pastor Riggins with real people, real life, real answers right here on the same station, www.thesmokingglasshour.com. If you hover on down to the bottom, you will be able to listen live to Pastor Riggins' show, or you can go to the player and click on home. When you click on home, you'll see real people, real life, real answers, Pastor Riggins. You go there, and if you hover on down to the link that says real people, real life, real answer, you will be able to hear some Wrap It Up Live, real people, real life, real answer with Pastor A.F. Riggins. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Lauren, John, and all the rest of you, those who are out there listening, stay tuned for tomorrow. We will inform you of the show, that trending topic Thursday nights as usual. We're talking local and state politics. We're talking with sheriff candidates, their candidacy. We're talking with clerk of court candidacy. We'll be running down the gubernatorial races, also the lieutenant governor, police jurors, so forth and so on. So we ask that you tell a neighbor, tell a friend, that you have been listening to the Smoking Glass Hour with Baron Glass on WMAD 24-hour Global Radio. Thanks for all of you guys who listen in. And once again, may you have a good day, and may the good Lord see you through tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great day.